flag at my house.
And welcome to another edition of the All Angels podcast. I am here with special guest Chris Rodriguez, and you guys might know him as one of the top Angels pitching prospects out there. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. So let's get into it. So much has happened over the last, oh man, like what, 11 months now. The original shutdown of spring training in March. How did you find out, and what was your reaction?
Honestly, they had brought us all together. So pitchers and catchers were out at the time, so they had brought us all together and they sat us down and they basically said, "Listen, this is what's going on. We don't know full details yet, but all we know is protocol is to send you guys home." And kind of that's the way they had told us, and everybody was like in shock. Everybody was like, "We just got here. What do you mean we're going home? Like, what are you talking about?" And then when we went home, we kind of had more of a clue, and it's just been it was a roller coaster back then.
So, you go home back to Miami. You're Mr. 305 down there. And then eventually, after a little while, the season starts, the abbreviated season, but then you got sent to Long Beach as far as like the developmental and kind of their player pool. How was it in Long Beach? And, how different was it?
Long Beach was awesome. It was awesome. It was a great time, and it was a great experience. I mean, different. I wouldn't say it's so much different. At the end of the day, you're still playing baseball every day. You get to the field, you do what you got to do, you play baseball, and it's kind of like that spring training atmosphere. However, what I will say was kind of being around the older guys and being around guys who have been to the big leagues and been up and down the big leagues. You learned a lot. It was a great experience, and it was honestly such a blessing that I was able to get called up there and kind of be able to talk to all these guys and kind of pick their brains. And, I was really grateful that I was able to get the call.
This was supposed to be, your 2020 was, I think, supposed to be like one of those breakout years because you did, we talked about on the previous podcast where you have struggled with injuries and it looked like you got all that behind you. When you realized that you weren't be able to pitch during a game, like obviously you pitched a little bit in spring training, but you never pitched in a minor league game to kind of truly go full go and test everything out. Were you kind of disappointed that you were never able to get onto like an actual game mound?
I wouldn't say I was disappointed. Long Beach, we had our games. I got my innings in, even though there was no fans, which that kind of stunk, but every time I took the mound, I told myself that this is 100% game-like. Everybody's watching. I'm facing big league hitters. Like, I'm going to go at these guys. So in that sense, I wasn't bummed out. However, one thing I will say was like the whole fan atmosphere, everybody missed it. Everybody towards the end was getting sick and tired of hearing random crowd noise, and it was funny. Sometimes we would mix the crowd noise and we would put on like a soccer game crowd noise on, and you would hear random screaming and stuff like that just to switch it up a bit. So not having the fans there, not having that fan base and that type of atmosphere, it was definitely different. But yeah, I wouldn't say bummed out. I would say I would have preferred there to be fans and kind of have that type of atmosphere there.
So, you're in Long Beach, the 60 game season. You see a lot of guys come up and down. Was there anyone that had spent time with in Long Beach that maybe you haven't previously, that you kind of picked their brain, kind of to see how the major league life is and how that might help you going down, down the line?
Honestly, it was every single person there. It was different because like hitter wise, I'll talk to Soto, I'll talk to Jose Rojas, I'll talk to Jones, Hermosillo, Walsh, Theis. Those are the hitters I'll talk to. And then pitchers, I'll talk to Jose Suarez, Barria, Dylan Peters, Keller, even Sandoval when he went down a couple times, and Buchter as well. All those guys. I try to pick their brains. They've been to the big leagues, and that's an experience I just haven't experienced yet. And God willing, one day I will. But just being able to pick all. Sorry about that. So, just to be able to pick those guys' brains, it was awesome. And I can't sit here and say like I picked only this guy's brain or this guy's brain. Like I'm talking about everybody helped me out, and everybody gave me their advice and how they made it and kind of what it takes to stay there. You know.
Yeah, and that's kind of the good thing about it because if the season was going to happen and the minor league system happened, or minor league season happened, you would probably been like
Yeah, yeah.
double A, triple A type of level. But
Dan,
you
Dan, I think I lost it. I can't hear you.
can hear me. Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Uh
Let me
oh.
know. Oh, right. Let me see. Hold on. Let me try. If you guys are hearing me,
Dan.
you got
All right, we're all good.
me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, cool. So what I was saying too, live podcasting, there's nothing like it. Good thing I can edit for the actual podcast. But no, but I was saying like if you were a regular minor league season, you would have been stuck, not stuck, but you would have been pitching like, in double A, triple A, you might not have been able to get to talk to some of these major league guys that kind of go up and down. So I guess that's one of the benefits, yeah, from kind of the Long Beach situation, if you will. The season's over, you go back home. November comes around, and you and Brandon Marsh get selected to the 40-man roster. For anyone that follows baseball, understands how big of an accomplishment for that is for, these young prospects trying to make it to the majors. That's like the next step. When did you find out, and what was your reaction when you got added to the 40-man?
I found out a day before the deadline, and it was funny. My reaction was, you know, I was so happy, and I was like, oh, thank God, like just this big weight was lifted off. I'm like, oh, thank God. And I had called Brandon Marsh, and we had spoke, and we were together at the time, which was kind of a crazy thing. Because I had went to go to Atlanta and visit him, so we were together at the time, and we were both just like smiling. We were like, "This is awesome," but like we both knew that this is just a step. It's not everything. 40 man's a great accomplishment, but me and Brandon both we have goals to be on the 25 man one day and kind of be able to help the big league team. Hopefully get to the playoffs and win a World Series.
Obviously the off season, this happens. What does your off season workout like now compared to maybe years past? Because the situation with the coronavirus stuff like that, is it's kind of the same thing, or have you found yourself having to make a little bit of adjustments here and there?
I would say it's the same thing. The gym I've been working out at, we've been very careful with all the coronavirus stuff. We've been make sure that we um sanitize our hands, sanitize all the equipment and everything, so everybody's safe and everybody's comfortable where they're working out in. But it's overall been the same. Um, so I have no complaints about this off season. I've been able to get everything done. Throwing wise, I have my partner that I've been throwing with even since quarantine. We just go to a field, we throw, and then we lift, and so it's been actually a really good off season, a very productive one.
What is something you came into this off season wanting to work on? Was it a certain pitch? Was it command of a certain pitch, velocity of a certain pitch? Was there anything going into this off season that you wanted to improve on more so than anything else?
Um, and the biggest goal right now is just to stay healthy. I would say that's the biggest goal right now. Pitch wise, everything's kind of feeling really good where it's at. However, I would say that every single pitch, I feel like I would come into this offseason, I told myself that I want every single pitch to be able to throw it for a strike and to be able to throw it for a two pitch or two strike pitch as well. So kind of have everything, being able to throw any pitch, any count. That's what I want to do. That's the pitcher I want to become. When you can do that, I feel like you can establish yourself that much better.
For fans that might not be familiar with you or kind of getting into like looking up prospects and stuff like that, can you tell them what's your pitch mix, pitch mix that you have and you bring to the Angels?
I got 4-seam, changeup, 2-seam, slider, and curveball. I would say everything's pretty firm for the most part. This whole instructional league in Long Beach, I was 4-6 the whole entire time, with my 2-seam being having a lot of life. Mm-hmm. And slider is definitely a pitch that I can throw for a strike and also get a few strikeouts with as well. Changeup's got some screwball-like action when thrown well. And curveball, I finally got some depth to it, so it's definitely different than my slider. So everything's coming out very well, and I mean, the type of pitcher I am in general is just someone who's going to compete. So,
and that's great to hear because again, you're 22, so you just kind of feel like you're just barely getting into your growth as a pitcher and on the mound. Obviously, baseball is a business. Obviously, we're kind of in the middle right now of certain teams making certain moves, certain teams signing certain players. And just talking to enough of you guys, I realize you guys don't really focus on that kind of stuff. You just kind of tell me where to show up and play, and I'll do it. Yeah. But when, as a fan, I'm hearing, people are saying, we can't trade Chris. Chris is going to have a great future. We want him with the Halos. He's going to be a great pitcher when he gets up here. When you hear stuff like that and fans pretty much calling you like untouchable when it comes to like trading and anything like that, how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel great, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I always say this, we play baseball. We love baseball. We're athletes. But at the end of the day, we're human beings. Nobody's going to want to hear, oh, let's trade this guy. Like,
right.
We're sick of this guy. Let's trade him. Nobody wants to. Having that type of fan base around me and kind of having people kind of like the pitcher I am and hopefully love the person I am, that's obviously very heartwarming. It's a blessing, honestly, having that type of fan base and kind of that's what I'm thankful that I'm in this Angel organization, because you look on Twitter, you look on Instagram and all these other social media sites, and the Angels are number one when it comes to that. Like I would take Angels fan base over any other fan base.
And that's great to hear too, because fans, I think fans you're always going to get some of those knuckleheads, but yeah, as far as a whole, I think Angels fans, are good ones. Another thing that you are really into away from the field, and this team had a little success last year, and that's the Miami Heat. Like I mentioned before, you're down there in Miami. So we text back and forth kind of during that playoff drive. So tell me, how was that as, you being a fan, like you kind of experience what it's like for us as Angel fans when they make a run or when how was that for you?
Oh, it's awesome. It's like, the Heat to me, we came into the season like, oh, we're just some normal team, and even in the playoffs, everybody was counting us out. But what people don't understand is 305 is the best city in the world. It may not be from the 305, but once you're in the city, that's it. You're established, and kind of they pushed through, man. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, they did what they had to do, and they got us to the finals, which nobody thought they were going to get to the finals.
I think I texted you right after the block. Why am I forgetting his name? But block on Tatum, and just take me into that situation. Were you jumping up and down when you saw that block, or what was going on?
You see, I actually saw that on the highlights. I had to see it.
Really?
I missed it during the game, but even the highlights, I was like, let's go. Like, I just, and then the more I saw, it was that much better. But yeah, let me tell you, the Heat came through, and I hope they have the same type of season this year, but they did what they did last year, so we'll see.
And I feel like it was a sign today, because I'm gonna bring this full circle now. Today is actually Tyler Hero's birthday. He's 22, and then I just happened to be looking online, and then I found this picture. I don't know if you could tell what hat he's wearing. He's wearing a old school Angels periwinkle hat. I think this was from last season. So when I found all this stuff out, I just thought, you know what, this is a sign. This was meant to be an interview today. So it kind of. What was that?
I said, hey, Tyler Hero gets it, man. He's in the 3
exactly,
and he supports the Anaheim, man. That's
there
all.
You go. So that was perfect symmetry, I guess. Another thing that I want to talk to you about, again, off the field, and I kind of was surprised when I saw this, but your fandom for a certain country artist, Luke Combs, where did that come from? Because that kind of caught me off surprise.
Oh, I love Luke Combs. Like, okay, so a lot people who know me, they know I love Luke Combs.
Right.
But people who don't know me, they're like, oh, guy from Miami, his last name's Rodriguez.
And that's where I was. I was like, so surprised.
I truly understand where people come from, but like with that, Miami, Spanish music, rap music, all this stuff. But no, I love country music, and Luke Combs he's the man. I actually saw him in concert 2 years ago. And it was an amazing concert, man. He's just a great guy, great songwriter, great singer. So I love him.
Yeah, it was funny though, because full disclosure, I'm a big Luke Combs fan too, and that's why it kind of just was. Wow, I didn't see it coming. My wife is a big country, and she kind of got me into it when I met her, a handful of years back, and so I got really into Luke Combs, and I would see you post little things here and there. And one of the biggest things, again, she's probably a little bit bigger fan than I am. The one thing she was really jealous about is I noticed your Christmas present.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend got me the Luke Combs Crocs. You don't understand. I was so excited. I was so. She earlier before Christmas, she asked me. She goes, what shoe size are you? And I immediately knew. I was like, oh, I'm getting Crocs. So coming into Christmas, I was doing this the whole time. Like, I'm gonna get me some Crocs. I'm excited, and then boom.
Yeah, I saw that on your story on your Instagram, and I said, "Oh, look who ended!" Because we were actually really talking about that probably like a week before, just or when they came out, and then I showed him like, "Oh, look, you remember Chris? He pictured blah blah blah." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Look what he got today," and then I showed her, and she was just, "Oh my god, I'm so lucky!" This and that, because she was loving those Crocs, and she was she was like, "I love them," but her thing is like, "Oh, they're white. I'm afraid to get them dirty," kind of deal. So, but. Yeah, it was a trip, and that was just funny. That another thing that kind of worked out is that the fandom for Luke Combs, and he's definitely someone on my list once concerts resume.
Yeah.
Try to get out and see him when he comes out to the West Coast. But Chris, this has been great. For anyone out there, Angel fans, I highly suggest follow this kid's journey. Again, 21 years old, still a lot of baseball ahead of him. You see his Twitter right here at Real Chris Rod, and then his Instagram at C_Rod_21. Be part of the journey, because as for me, I've seen you in Inland Empire. I've talked to you through the injuries, and now I honestly I'm truly rooting for you, and I'm can't wait to see you on an actual mound. Whether that's this season or 2022 with the big team with the Angels, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I appreciate that. And hey, I love when you guys have me on here. You guys are amazing. I follow you guys on Instagram. You guys do nothing but great things. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. And then for all our fans that are watching right now, this is our information again. Instagram, Halo_Haven, and obviously our YouTube page, Twitter, and all that stuff. If you guys want to check out the other interviews we've done in the past. So Chris, again, thank you very much for jumping on. It's late over there in Miami. I really appreciate it. Have a great one, man.
Hey, you as well. Thank you.